And we are live. Thanks everybody for joining us here at the big show. We're starting a little bit early because we were getting into a good conversation there. As always, with me is my co-host, cohort, and random guy I found on the street, Jeffrey KomiKHAN Henson. Say hey, Jeff.
What's up, guys? How's everybody doing today? I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. We have one of our buddies along with us today, Mr. JP from JP's Budget Collecting. How are you doing today, JP?
I'm doing great, guys. I am enjoying my Sunday afternoon. It's actually nice weather in Missouri for once. It's not raining and thunderstorming, which is all it's done for like the last month. So I'm just happy to be here and spend the afternoon with you guys. Normally I'd just be watching it. So today I get to actually talk to you.
Hey, well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and it's the first time I've ever worked with you ever. So it's a joy for me too. Looks like we got a few people in the chat. Jeff, why don't you do your thing, man?
Oh yeah. We got our buddy Bear Island Comics. How you doing, Bear Island? Good to see you today. We got Comics for All People #1. We got Jam Sessions and my boy Sean, Mr. Stay Puff 1983. Looks like you had a great weekend this weekend at MegaCon, Puff. Hope that was fun. Mr. Carroll, what's up? What are you doing, Mr. Carroll? Hope you're having a good weekend. We got to watch your show with Barbarian Kung Fu, The Hunters, yesterday. You looked like you guys had some nice books. Randy Rest Snake, just the man I was looking for. Because I've been waiting for you to be around. I have a package that I got in the mail from Mr. Randy Rest Snake, and I have been waiting to see him in a live stream before I opened it. So that will be opened up today as well. As long as with the AOK that I got from Mr. Big Will. Yes.
Yeah. But we'll have fun with that one later. So, JP, the first question I'd like to ask you is, we had talked about the facsimile behind you of 181, and you were like, well, if I had the money to spend on one book like that, that would not be the book I would spend it on. So who's your favorite character, and what book would you spend that money on if you had it extra?
Well, I'm not sure that money would even get the book that I would want. I'm a bats and spiders guy, like from when I was a kid. Batman, Spider-Man, and really the whole Bat family. My favorite character, and I've told this parts of this story a couple different times on some of my videos and some other stuff, is actually Nightwing. And the reason Nightwing's my favorite character is, I don't know if you remember, but like I was young enough, I never really read until later Dick Grayson as Robin. He was Nightwing by the time I started reading comics. And when I got to college, which was really when I first really started collecting, is when they launched the Nightwing series, his first series. And it was all about him being on his own for the first time. No Titans, no Batman, in his own city. And it literally came out in October of '96. And I started a freshman at Mizzou in September of '96. So his story and my story were like, I just connected with it, if that makes any sense. And so my holy grail, if I was going to spend the money, would be Detective, is it 38? Now I forget. I'm blanking on it. But the first Dick Grayson, if I was going to go after it, which, like I said, I'm not even sure Hulk 181 money would get me that book.
Well, it might get you a 0.02.
No score. So, but yeah, that would be my grail of grails. And it's a book that, I don't ever see myself being in a position to get, but that would be it.
Okay. So how many copies of this book do you own then? I know you must own at least one.
Oh yeah, I have one that's off at CGC or CBCS getting slabbed at the moment, and then I have another one as well. So, but that'll probably be like, as I've gotten back into collecting, that's probably going to be like my Wolverine #1 for you, Big Will. I'll probably like, anytime I see a good deal on one of those, I'll probably grab it. So.
We all have that one book.
Yeah, that's probably the book that if I see good deals on it, I will probably continue to grab, just because that book. Right. And then if I see good deals on, let's see if I can find it here. This book, which is that #1 of that series that I was talking about.
What about the Teen Titans book where he's the last time he's Robin and they're walking away? What
Oh,
about
yeah.
that?
You know, I could have swore at one point I had that in my collection, but after I moved, like back to Missouri after I finished grad school, it was in the books that I got rid of before I left Virginia, or I lost it in the move, and I do not have that book currently. It is one I want. It just hasn't made it to the top of the list yet.
Well, if I have multiple copies. If you want one, I'll give you one.
Oh, well, that's super generous. That's not my intent. But
Well, I accidentally won an auction on eBay.
Accidentally.
It's been a couple times I've been on some stuff and been like, thankfully, someone overbid me.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been some times I was like, I dodged the bullet there.
I know that feeling. Absolutely.
But no, that was my favorite character. So
All right, cool. Jeff, you got something?
No.
No.
I actually haven't picked anything up. I was real busy at work this week and I didn't get a
I meant
chance
to ask JP.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant to show. Well, I mean, it sounds like, do you typically tend to stay on the Batman side of things, or are you kind of branched out to all different characters? Or?
I have branched out quite a bit since I got back in. So the stuff I kept, and I read other things when I collected before, but most of the stuff I kept were Batman and Spider-Man stuff that I kept from my original collection when I was in college. And then after I got out of college and I moved to where I live now, I was basically hour and a half, 2 hours from any kind of comic shop. So it just fell by the wayside.
Yeah.
So I have gone back in, and I should never say that I didn't read other stuff. Like I have a run of like Ultimate X-Men that I collected right toward the end. I have an Iron Man run I collected back in the 90s. So I had a big Deadpool run of his first series that I got rid of all of, which is like, that was dumb because I had #1 and it was like, that bug's gone, and I probably sold that for like $5.
Right.
So, but mostly it's been Batman, Nightwing, Justice League, and Spider-Man stuff. Those are probably the big ones.
Right.
When I got back in, I really tried to branch out and try some other stuff.
Yeah.
Like the books behind me, like the all new Wolverine, like was something I'd heard a lot about when I was first starting, and it was well into the series when I got back in, and I really love that series. I love Tom Taylor's writing on that. I didn't know anything about Laura before I picked those books up. I just heard the series was good, and like she's one of my favorite like X-Men characters now.
She is awesome.
Yeah, and and so I collect a lot of her stuff now. I gave Spider-Gwen a try when I got back in, and I really love Jason Latour's run. I don't particularly like the new run. I picked up Mr. Miracle. I didn't know anything about the New Gods. I read that Tom King run. So I have tried to branch out. I'm reading Guy because I never really collected indies for the most part either. I had a few indie series I read when I was in college, but those were mostly about the art. And we could get into that if we go into my collection a little bit. But I read Die. I've been reading Ronin Island, which has been pretty cool.
I heard that was good.
I mean, it's not. I feel like it's a little uneven. Like parts of it are really, really good, but like the first issue drags a little bit. Second issue is really good. The third issue was really good as well. So I'm hopeful that they can kind of keep the momentum. So we'll see. The first issue was tough. It was not that great. I almost dropped it after the first issue.
Oh, wow.
I try to give any book I pick up, I try to give it a couple just to like let them get their feet on the ground.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I usually have at least like a 3-issue limit before I make any type of judgment on a series. But that question was because when I got back into collecting, I was basically just Incredible Hulk. That was all I knew and all I'd ever collected. And when I started getting back into it, I was trying to branch out some, because, just I didn't really know what else was out there. I've done a little diving into the independents. I've done a little bit of diving into DC. I found a couple of series that I really like. I like the Detective Comics. I'm enjoying Wonder Woman. Justice League Dark.
Justice League Dark I read that as well, and I think it's the one series I feel like is maybe the best written thing that's going right now that nobody's talking about.
Yeah, it's really good, and that I mean, and then I've got Die as well, and that's about it as far as non-Marvel series. But even in the Marvels, even in like Marvel, I've really cut back on a lot of what I was getting because I felt like a lot of it was just me getting it because I was waiting for something to happen and that series to spike up and be like, yes, I've got it, but it didn't really matter because I wasn't enjoying reading it.
Right.
So I've cut back on a lot. Obviously, I'm reading Immortal Hulk. I picked up that new Savage Avengers. I didn't put it on my pull list, but I got issue 1, War of the Realms, the main series. Like the new Avengers No Road Home that was out. I enjoyed that. Things like that. But I've recently really been trying to cut back a lot on just random buying.
Yeah, I've tried to really like focus. Because when I first got back in, I was buying a little bit of everything, and I was a little all over the board.
Absolutely.
Particularly on new stuff. And I'm trying to like focus a little bit more and get down to like core series and then have a few that are just like, okay, I'll pick up here and there that I pick up and drop depending on how good they are or whatever. Like one I didn't mention, like I'd never been a fan of Thor as a character. But my sister, who also kind of got back in when I did, because the reason I got back in is she moved a block from a comic shop, like when she moved. So we started going down there when I go visit. And then led me to finding that there was a new shop that was within a reasonable distance to me. But she was reading Jane Foster Thor run, and she really enjoyed it. So she got me to read that. And I really enjoyed Jason Aaron's writing on that. So much so that I picked up a bunch of the back stuff and have stayed with him on Avengers, which is a series I'd never read before this. I'd never read any Avengers stuff.
Right.
So even though I love the movies and stuff, I never read any Avengers stuff. So.
All right. Whether you want to be or not, you're kind of now known as the 6 months back guy for the CBSI list. So before you answer the question of how did that start, what brought you onto the radar of the CBSI list? Because I've never been to their website. I like to watch Comic Tom's videos, but I really don't care about the list. To me, it's a sale list, not a what to buy list, because it's what's happened already. So
right. And
I don't really pay that much attention to it. So
right, and that's probably a good philosophy for that list. But it was Tom. Like when I got back into collecting now, like our first trip to the comic shop that started this was not quite 2 years ago now. But I really didn't get back as a collector. I'd been doing a lot of Funko Pop stuff. Like had been filling my gap as a collector like the last couple of years. And it was when I went to C2E2 last year in 2018 is when I decided, no, I'm going to go back to comics. I'm not going to do the Funko thing anymore. Although I still have a bunch of them, but I'm not going to focus on that. But so I started watching YouTube to get comic information. I started finding these videos and watching the CGC unboxings and watching stuff like that. And Tom was one of the first channels I found. Tom and Reggie were two of the first channels that I found that I started watching regularly. And when they started doing that top 10 list, I used to love those lists. I used to love getting the Wizard magazine and what are the hot books? I know you guys remember that. Like the Wizards and the top, they would do their hot books and all this kind of stuff. So I was always a sucker for those lists. I just enjoyed them. I like to know what people were chasing. It was fun. And so I started watching Tom's videos and I found myself making a lot of, as I got back in, because I had such a huge vacancy in my collection. Like literally, my entire collection is behind me. Like those 11 boxes or so, is there even 11? 10 or 11 boxes are my entire collection. And a lot of them are runs that have zero value, but from like the late 90s. But so I found myself chasing spec books to try to get value without much direction or understanding of what I was going after. And so I just kind of like started doing the research myself. Like I bought a couple of books and I found them for cover or less. Like I found them for cover less that it hit the list. And I was like, oh, well, I might turn these to get something. Well, I put them on eBay and there were 30,000 of those suddenly on eBay because that list had come out. And they didn't sell. They're like literally a couple of them are still sitting here. Like they're in my collection. And I had no desire to have them other than they were like the hot book of the moment. Well, the moment passed by the Monday after the list. So it was really something I started to do like for myself, like just trying to look back and understand why books were hitting the list. What was the realistic, what did that realistically mean in most cases? So that I would make smarter decisions. It was really about trying to educate myself. If you guys have watched much of my stuff, like in addition to that, but like some of my Collecting Smart stuff that I'm now doing with Matt, the boy who had 7, and I like to do research, and because that's what I do for a living. I do research for the Missouri Department of Conservation, and so looking at numbers, understanding data, that's what I do, and so that's where the looking back at the list came from, is trying to understand. And when I had the crazy notion of making a YouTube video, that was just the first idea that came to mind. I had no idea that I was going to become that guy. Which is kind of the only thing I'm known for at this point, is I do the 6-month look back.
Well, I guess we could say he's the 6-month back guy, but also, what's something else you'd like to be known by? I saw one of your shows with Matt. Tell us more about those. What started that?
So there was kind of the same thing, and I have several of them I did by myself, of like Collecting Smart, and really what they came from, it comes from the same place my channel name comes from, which is budget collecting. I don't know if you guys know this, but government salaries don't pay a lot. So I don't have a large amount of free money free spending money to just put toward comics. It just doesn't exist for me. So I have to be smart. Like I watched one of Reggie's videos once, and he was talking about what he does before he makes a decision. And then at one point, though, and they were all really good tips, but at one point he's like, no, if it's a $20, $30 book, then I don't really go through these decision-making process. I just buy it. And I'm like, I wish, a $20, $30 book wasn't a decision for me. But I have to make, and I don't always do it, but I have to think about my decisions, because if I buy a $20, $30 book, that's other things or bigger books that I have to put off. I have to wait. And so the Collecting Smart is just really things I think about. And Matt is now probably is my official co-host for Collecting Smart. We're going to try to do it together. And really, I pulled him in for the first one. We did one looking at 9.8s versus 9.6s, 9.4s. Was 9.8 the only way to go? Because Matt is very much, if you watch his stuff, he's a 9.8 guy. He is.
Oh yeah.
He's very much a 9.8 guy. And now I currently own 3 slabs, and only one of them's a 9.8. And although I have some that are currently sent off to CBC and CBCS, I should, but I did some research on what the price difference is between a 9.8 and a 9.6, and we just talked about it from the perspective, not that, and the whole Collecting Smart thing is not that the decisions they make are bad or wrong. It's just that I want people to have information. What's with chocolate tacos? Did I miss something?
Yeah. I suppose I should explain that Micah Weems, that guy in there, is my idiot roommate, and he for some reason decided to talk about tacos, and then everyone else started talking about it, and that's what Jeff's been
I
laughing
saw
at
something
the
in
whole
the chat
time.
about chocolate tacos for a minute, and I was like, whoa. Okay. And I was like, that popped up. I was like, wait.
I was wondering when you were going to notice the chat.
Well, I've seen it once, but I really hadn't paid that much attention to the chat. I should pay more attention. I do that when I'm on my streams too, but I start talking and I stop paying attention to the chat. But
my work here is one. Yeah, it is.
All tacos are real. I like tacos. Okay, yeah, no, I see that. Really, ice cream waffle cone. There you go. Okay. I've had those chocolate tacos before. They are kind of good.
Yeah, that's what I used to always get from the ice cream man as a kid.
Yeah.
Choco tacos.
I have no idea what I was saying before the chocolate tacos, but
I don't either. So we're
we're good.
But the whole collecting smart and most everything I do on my channel, the look back list is my goal of giving people information that they can think about. Whatever decision you make is for your collection is, make the right one for you as a collector. Because we talked about at the beginning of the show, the Hulk book. Like for you guys, Hulk 181 is a grail because of Hulk and because of Wolverine. And, it's a book that makes sense for you. For me, Hulk 181 doesn't make sense for me because there's other books. If I was going to invest in something, that's not the book I would do because those are not my characters. Even though I enjoy Wolverine and that kind of stuff. So everybody's going to be a little different. All I want to do with my channel, though, is give people information so that they can make the decisions for themselves and think about the decisions they're making. That's
right. Now, I have a question. So you've been doing that list for a few months now. Like, do you see any type of a trend? Like, are the prices like continually going down or staying the same or up on a lot of these books? Or
most weeks there is a book or two that either maintains or continues to gain. Most of the books that hit the list come back.
That's kind of
the reason for that is the big reasons for that are twofold in my mind. One is there's a ton of books that hit the list because they got optioned. But everybody hears the word option and they're like, oh, they're going to make a TV or movie. And so everybody buys them. And the thing is, being optioned just means someone has bought the rights. So at some point they might make a TV or a movie, or they're the ones that get to do it if it gets made. Or someone has to buy it from them to do it. Being optioned in zero ways guarantees anything's ever going to hit the screen, whether it's small or big. So those books all peak and then disappear unless there's follow-up news.
Right.
That they're actually going to follow up and do it.
So it's kind of like buying a classic car to restore. Almost no one gets around to restoring them.
Yeah, I mean, like it takes a lot of dedication to do that, and so these people are buying up the rights to this material. Hence, these books are like you get option news, so that there's people buying up. There was books that hadn't even came out yet that were optioned. So when number one came out, it had already been optioned. Well, we don't even know if it's a good story or if people are going to like it. So, and people were going nuts over them. And so that's the one thing I've really noticed. The other thing is there's a lot of hot covers that hit the list. And that really depends on were they a surprise or not. So, like, I didn't put it up here. So, like, this book. Exploded last year.
Yep.
So I have this because I collect Batgirl because she's one of my favorite characters. She's a Bat character, whatever. This is why I have this book. I probably wouldn't have got it otherwise. So I was already collecting this run and these Middleton covers. Because actually the cover that got me hooked was 20 on this. But so everybody thought for the next 6 months that whenever a gorgeous Middleton Batgirl cover was going to be out, that it was going to do what this one did.
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember that. I think I have most of those too.
Yeah,
just for that same reason.
And they're gorgeous, and you can make the argument that several of them since, like, I don't know that I'd agree with all of them, but a few of them you can make the argument they're better covers than this one. They're not worth anything.
Is this one anything special? Number 25?
Yeah, that's one of the ones that everybody thought was going to blow up, and it didn't. And the reason it didn't is because no one knew this cover was coming. The art wasn't revealed until after the FOC. So
by the time people wanted it, they couldn't get it.
By the time people wanted it, they couldn't get it. All those others, Middleton has had the art out well in advance, and so people have ordered the you-know-what out of them. So, yeah, they'll peak that first week because everybody will go crazy, and then they go away because the supply is more than the demand, because most of the people that wanted it already ordered it. And so that's something you see a lot with covers, in my opinion. Let's see here. See, and Bake has made a comment about CBSI and them twisting the numbers and stuff, and I don't know for sure what their process is for how they come up with the list, but my intent has never been to bash the list with the look back. I think the list is fun. I just think people need to understand what it is.
Yeah, I never took your shows any way to bash CBS. I always took it as more of a, hey, check it out, people. 6 months ago, people were telling you to buy these books for this price, and now look at them. Most of them have gone down, or whatever. So yeah, I thought that was cool. I never saw it in any type of negative way towards CBS.
I don't understand. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Bagwell.
I was just going to say, I don't understand why everyone wants to go wait for the list and then go try and buy them, because the list tells you what has happened.
Right.
In other words, it could still be happening, but odds are it's going to start going down soon because it's already been hot. It's telling you what has already happened. So it's definitely a what to sell list if you happen to already have it, rather than a what to buy list, because the money's not going to be there most likely, from my understanding and what I've seen. That's how I look at it.
Because what typically happens is very rarely do books hit the list multiple times. Like, it's not super rare, but like where they're on there multiple weeks in a row. And you'll get one that'll carry over every now and then. And usually it's like you're saying, is they're saying what has happened. Like, people have spent money on these books. And so there's usually a push over the weekend of people spending either more or at that price. But what also happens over the weekend is people go back into their boxes and go, I have that book. And they put it on eBay.
Yeah.
And suddenly the drives the price right back down. And so a lot of times, not always, but it just depends on the book and the supply and that kind of stuff. But
Bake the Snake says, oh no, CBSI started doing recap videos on their books after you started doing it, and his personal opinion is it's to twist their numbers. They can't let everyone know how many of their books actually drop.
Oh, well, I haven't watched like any of their videos.
Well, apparently you're the one that made them start making them, according to Bake.
Oh, well, I don't know. I didn't know they'd start doing that. I hope they do it. I hope they I hope they give honest information. That would be the only thing I have. I don't have any claim to being the only person that can look back at this. This is just what I've been doing. So, at one point Perry was talking about doing like a 12-month list, and I didn't have a problem with him looking back after 12 months. I didn't have a problem with him doing that. It's different information.
I'll tell you, I did a live stream yesterday with a guy named Dan Piercy. He actually works for CBSI. He's like a writer for them, and he was a super cool dude, super down to earth. We didn't get into any major details about CBSI or anything like that. I checked out some of the things that he's writing. He just seemed like an all-around guy. So with that, like with you know, not getting too far into his personal or his work, you know, anything related to his work. I wasn't trying to cause any issues, but you know, I think CBSI is probably just some guys like us just sitting around and they're trying to do the same thing. Everybody's always trying to come out with a video, an idea to make a video that everybody's going to want to watch, or a show that everybody's going to watch. And the guys at CBSI were probably doing the same thing. Oh, what can we do to get noted? Well, what if we release a top 10 books list every week that we think people are going to want to see? So, I mean,
I think that's exactly right, Jeffrey.
At the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with what they're doing. All they're doing is putting out information. It's up to all of us whether we take the information or what we choose to do with it. It's all on us after that point. They just put it out there. And there's nothing wrong with that.
agreed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So, JP, if you don't mind sticking around for a little bit, we'll probably have some more questions for you and all. But Jeffrey, I think he's been itching to open a couple things. He's got one from Randy.
Yeah, I got this one from Randy. I just cut the top of it open. I don't know what it is, but I kind of know what it is. He messaged me asking me if he could send me some art. So I'm thinking that that's what this is. Pretty stoked. I've been waiting to see it around before I opened it. Oh, man. All right. This is sweet. All right.
Oh,
We
cool.
got, yes. Man, yes, I like it. It's freaking awesome, Randy. You did that? Yeah, I see your signature down here. Oh man, that I gotta find a man. That is awesome. Look, you guys see that?
That is amazing.
Wait, so he did that himself?
Yeah, I believe so. Those are his initials right down here. So, man,
Dang.
I
That
know.
was nice.
That is cool.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate it. That will be somewhere on the wall, hopefully soon. And then I got this package right here from Big Will. And I awesome, Randy. That was amazing, dude. I really appreciate that. I can't wait to get that
But
somewhere
mine is
on the
not as
wall for
amazing.
you to see.
Don't worry.
Oh, I have an idea of what it might be, though.
Oh,
Or at
really?
least what's well, I'm thinking. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Bake, that was a really good word. Thank you, Randy. That's awesome. I really appreciate you sending me that. That was cool. I like that, man. Like, you didn't have to buy me nothing. Just send me something you did. That was sweet. Haha, yes. All right. Here we go. Boom. These will be perfect for my show tonight, too. Golden Flakes. But thin and crispy. Okay, so Big Will, we've been talking about, like, off air, we've been talking about cooking, barbecuing and stuff. He's like, oh, do you eat Golden Flakes with your barbecue? They're like the best barbecue, like, chips to eat with barbecue. I was like, I've never even heard of them. So I got some Golden Flakes.
There you go.
And then these, oh, yeah. Big Bob Gibson Barbecue Championship Red Sauce. Heck yes. And then he's been talking about this. Okay, I've never even heard of this stuff. So this is called white sauce. Big Bob Gibson's Barbecue Original White Sauce.
Original white.
So I got some cooking to do, and I'm definitely interested in trying this white sauce.
Yeah, that might make that California crap you eat edible.
Yeah. Some real southern barbecue, boy. Damn. All right. Heck yes.
One was saying that, you California boys, before you came on here, Jeffrey, you thought throwing something on the grill was barbecuing.
Yeah, that's what I hear. These people, they tell me.
That's not barbecue.
That is not barbecuing. That's grilling.
To have barbecue, it has to have been cooked for at least 8 hours.
Yeah. So we'll do it. We'll do it up big. Whatever, Mr. Garrow. You keep on going, buddy.
But for those of you who don't know, white sauce for some reason is a uniquely Alabama thing.
I was gonna say I don't know. I've never white sauce.
I would not put too much. You'll hurt yourself.
Is it like
If you try to put too much on your stuff, just remember to shake it and refrigerate after opening, and it's pretty good, man.
Is it a
Decatur
based stuff, Will?
Do what?
Is it like horseradish based or
No.
no? Okay.
It's a vinegar and mayonnaise based, believe it or not.
Vinegar and mayonnaise. Okay.
Nice. And it's from Decatur. Both of these are, I guess they are strictly Alabama, pretty much. Decatur, it says so.
Yep.
Sweet.
Like acid, according to Gray Man.
Yeah, tri-tip. They probably don't. Do you guys even know what tri-tip is? From what I hear, that's basically a California thing.
What's what?
Tri-tip. You guys know what it's a cut of meat, beef. No. It's pretty much a California thing, from what I understand. I went to Oregon one time, and I went to the store asking them for a tri-tip, and they looked at me funny. But yeah. Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
We're gonna barbecue it for sure, guys. Thank you. Maybe I'll take some pictures when I'm done and post it to my Instagram.
Well, I just hope you like it, because white sauce people tend to either really like it or their eyes water, start bugging, they can't breathe, and they fall over.
Well, I think maybe if you were a person who didn't like mayonnaise and vinegar right off the bat, it would be a negative thing. But I happen to be a fan of both, so I'm really actually kind of excited to try it.
All right. So, JP, what else? Do you have anything specifically that you're about to get going this week, or anything that you want? Our door needs WD-40 bad.
Yeah.
That you got coming out, or about going to go live or anything?
Well, I'm going live tonight after Game of Thrones to finish my giveaway contest. So we'll announce winners tonight. And where did I lay those papers? I laid them here somewhere. I don't know where I laid them at the moment. That I'm actually giving away. Giving away a lot of Immortal Hulk books.
What?
Yeah, you didn't try out for it, Jeffrey. I don't know.
I know. I know. I just everybody. Mr. Garrel's always talking about selling his Immortal Hulk book. I'm like,
oh, they're right here.
Personal
sentiment. They're right in front of me. So yeah, I'm giving away 2 prizes. I had a lot of just Immortal Hulk books I picked up at my comic shop late. A number 5.
nice.
A number 1.
Oh yeah, I love that cover. Isn't that good?
A variant of number 1, signed by Ashley Witter, who was the artist. And so that's one of the prizes I'm giving away tonight. You had to already enter if you were, and then the other one was this Black Cat sketch cover Kevin McCoy did for me at PlanetCon. And then there's actually now a third prize, because D. Runk has donated, because I asked for everybody to say favorite stories. So he donated the 3 issues of Superman Hunter Killer, I forget what it is. So Second Fight with Doomsday, that's his favorite story. And he's going to donate those, so there's now a third prize. And he's actually at a con today getting them signed by Dan Jurgens. So before he gives them away, before he adds them to the contest. So that'll be after Game of Thrones tonight. We'll announce the winners for that. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Comic Book NYC's channel with John's Comics with Kids. And we're doing our 3rd episode of Gotham City Chronicles, and we're talking about Hush. So
that I've read that one. That's a nice one.
Yeah. So the first episode we did Year 1, and then we did The Long Halloween, and now we're doing Hush. So Kavi, John, and I will be doing that tomorrow night.
Nice. 2 good guys right there.
Yeah, those great guys. And then the Monday after that, Collecting Smart will be back with The Boy Who Had 7, although we haven't finalized the topic yet. And then obviously I didn't do a CBSI look back this week because they didn't have a list. So it was nice to have a week off, because it's hard to do like a weekly video that you got to like edit, and at least for me, I have a hard time. Like,
no, it is.
And we're paying you, so you don't have to do it every week.
No, it's like, yeah, and well, I feel like I wanted, like, I've set a pattern, so I try to do it every week, but it gets hard sometimes.
It is, especially like for me, like I have a job, and I know not everybody like works at a job. Like some people work from home and things like that. And that because before I had a job, I didn't have a job, and that made it easy. I was just honestly putting out at least a video every day almost for a while. Some days 2 videos, and it was easy. Then you got to go to work, and you work, 10, 11 hours some days. You come home, you take a shower, you eat dinner, you put on some clothes, you sit down for a second and watch TV, and then, you fall asleep. That's how I am a lot of times. Like, I pass out.
You got one of them shower when you get off type jobs.
Oh yeah, well, my job is very dirty. I dig through, like, I basically pick up trash, and some days I'm working in like meth houses, cleaning up meth labs and things like that. And like you come home and you shower. That's like first thing you do.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know how well I'll continue that through the summer because we get into my field season here any day now. Basically, as river levels get reasonable. I will be on the river all day, every day. And I also, like some of my sites, I'll have to travel and stay in order to do the work. So yeah, I don't know that I'll be able to keep up doing a weekly in terms from that perspective. I also I do the top 10 list. I do a Sunday live stream every Sunday. After this week, it'll get back to the regular time. It's been pushed back because of Game of Thrones. So I do it later than I would like to do it, but so yeah, that's most of what I have coming up. And then I always like odds and ends. I may have an unboxing this week. I have some stuff coming from Max Protection. I ordered some boxes and stuff. I don't know if I'll go live for any of that, but I'm going to be reorganizing some of that stuff and getting them spread out. Those boxes are getting pretty full, so I need to kind of spread out just a little bit.
Are you going to do the normal just plastic bins, or you think you might go for the BCW, the black big plastic? I like those myself.
I have so the book I've been pulling, or the box I've been pulling stuff out of that you guys can't see, is one of those BCW bins. So I have one of those. And they're expensive, like $20 a bin. I really like it. I don't like the handle situation on it.
Are you talking about the cardboard? You're not talking about the cardboard ones, right?
Ones.
No,
like this one, Jeffrey.
Oh yeah, nice. That's got like the lid on top of it and everything, too, right?
Lid.
Yeah.
That's what I'm moving everything to.
I'm actually ordered. I went through. I did the Max Protection thing, and I ordered some of their plastic boxes because they're really only like $10. They're actually cheaper than the cardboard decorative boxes.
Yeah.
If you order enough to like spend like $100, I ordered them and some other supplies that I needed.
But luckily, I have a really small collection, so I need 4, and I already have 1, so I just got to order 3 more.
Yeah. I would like to actually like. It's amazing how big my collection is, and there's not much there. I don't feel like it's like, so I need to like move some books and kind of cut back a little bit, but I'm pulling in too many new books probably as part of my problem. There's too many series that I'm reading, but I'm probably going to be dropping a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I'm just going to try to organize. I'd like to go to mostly plastic bins, get away from the cardboard, mainly because I don't know about, I'm sure probably in Alabama you have them too, Will, but if you have a lot of cardboard around, you're going to have a lot of recluses. And
what do you do?
I just really don't, I get tired
of those. Bugs?
What? Spiders.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we got those, but they don't,
they love cardboard. So
that's why I don't, trying to go away from cardboard.
That's me too. I'd like to reduce the amount of cardboard I got.
So, Jeffrey, do you have anything? I know you got something today, right? You got anything coming out this week?
Yeah, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Direct Edition Squad, me, Bake the Snake, Comic Books NYC, Soldier and Fuchsia only have our show on the Direct Edition Squad channel. I believe I'm doing Money in the Bank WWE pay-per-view review tonight as well on the KomiKHAN channel. And that's it for today. And then I think I got some things coming up this week.
Shows, you slacker, Jeffrey.
I know, right? Yes, and then Monday, I'm pretty sure we got the list with John's Comics with Kids on the KomiKHAN. Tuesdays, I'm doing a show with Kenny, KomiKHAN 84, and Chad, 90 miles from comics. And then me and Tony are doing Bro Talk at some point this week. And then Friday, we have The Hunt. And then Saturday is Coast to Coast with Just a Rican. And then Sunday, I'll be right back here.
So
Well, actually, this Sunday
we're taking it off. You're right.
Well, not this coming Sunday. We're off because I have what's called a decoration at a church, and I won't get into what that is, but I'm told that's a Southern thing. But we might do something Saturday. I got to talk with Jeffrey about it when we get off air here. But is there anything? Oh, Hunter, right at the last minute. But hi, how you doing? Is there anything else you guys need to plug or mention, or we all good?
I think we're good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate
no, dude. We appreciate you coming and showing up.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man. And thanks everybody in the chat for coming too.
Yeah.
And we'll see you later.